ever get the feeling like you're throwing money away?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's kind of crazy when you think about it. I mean, research suggests that the average person could be wasting like thousands of dollars every year without even realizing it.
Wow. Yeah, it's easy for small expenses to slip through the cracks.
For sure. And in 2024 especially, saving's more important than ever.
Totally agree.
We're diving deep into the strategies that'll help you save money like a pro. Buckle up.
Haha, sounds good.
So, I've been looking into this, and it's interesting.
Yeah.
The research actually points out why saving can feel so hard.
Definitely.
Impulse purchases, that ever-rising cost of living.
Oh, absolutely.
And, of course, the burden of debt.
Yeah, you just end up feeling like you're constantly playing catch-up.
Exactly. And that's where it gets tricky.
How sweet.
Because those feelings of being overwhelmed or deprived, they actually become psychological barriers to saving.
Oh, I see what you mean. When you're stressed about money, it's harder to make rational choices.
For sure. But here's the thing. The research also suggests that if we can shift our perspective a little,
Oh, that's interesting.
saving actually becomes less about restriction and more about taking control and investing in a future we're excited about.
I love that. It's like a mindset shift.
Exactly. It's more like I'm choosing to build something better rather than I can't afford this.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? One source talked about a super tangible way to do this.
What's that?
The envelope system.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
I know it's old school, but there's something about physically dividing your cash that just makes you think twice before spending.
Absolutely. It brings back the tangibility of money.
Right. And then there's this whole psychological principle behind it called loss aversion.
It makes so much sense.
Yeah. We feel the pain of spending way more when we're actually handing over cash as opposed to
mindlessly tapping a credit card.
Exactly. You don't even register the impact.
It's funny you mention that because I just realized the other day how many streaming services I was paying for that I barely even use.
Oh my gosh. Tell me about it. I was in the same boat a while back.
Yeah, it's like an invisible drain on your finances.
It really is. And that actually ties into another point the research brings up.
Go on.
Analyzing your spending patterns.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
We often have these recurring expenses that just fly under the radar.
Like those subscriptions you mentioned.
Exactly. And there are actually some really cool budgeting apps that can help with this, like Mint or Personal Capital.
Oh, yeah, those can be game changers for spotting those trends.
For sure. They give you a clear picture of where your money's actually going.
Absolutely. So, okay, we're getting a handle on our spending.
Yep.
Now let's talk about building a solid framework for saving.
Bring it on. I'm all ears.
Have you heard of the 50-30-20 rule?
Oh, yeah, that's a classic.
It's a cornerstone of personal finance for a reason.
I'm curious, what makes it so effective?
Well, it boils down to this. You allocate 50% of your income to your needs, 30% to your wants, and 20% to savings and debt repayment.
Okay, so it's all about balance.
Exactly. It ensures that your essential needs are met while still allowing for enjoyment and, crucially, responsible saving.
And the beauty of it is that it's actually quite simple and adaptable.
Yeah. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. It can be tailored to your specific situation.
So for someone listening right now, how would you recommend they adapt this rule to their unique circumstances?
That's where the real work comes in.
I like that.
It's not just about blindly following percentages. It's about understanding the core principle.
The principle being?
Prioritizing your needs, allowing yourself some enjoyment, but also consistently setting money aside for the future.
Gotcha. So you're saying it might be 60-20-20 for one person?
Yeah, exactly.
Or 40-30-30 for another?
It's all about finding that sweet spot.
Finding what works for you while maintaining that balance.
Exactly. Now, are you ready for the ultimate saving hack?
You know it. Lay it on me. Automation.
Automation, the magic word.
It's like a secret weapon.
Tell me more. It's all about setting up automatic transfers to your savings account. You literally set it and forget it.
I love that. So you're not even tempted to spend the money because it's already gone.
Exactly. And that's where the psychology comes into play again.
How so?
It's about pre-committing to saving.
Makes sense.
You're making a conscious choice ahead of time, which removes that emotional tug of war when you see money in your checking account.
I feel like this is kind of like that feeling when you get a raise.
Yeah.
And you immediately increase your 401k contribution.
You don't even miss the money because it never really hit your checking account.
It's a brilliant strategy. And there's even research to back it up.
Oh, absolutely.
The studies show that starting small and gradually increasing the amount you automate over time can have a huge impact.
It's all about building those positive habits.
And you know what's really cool?
What's that?
Seeing that savings number grow steadily becomes a huge motivator in itself.
It's such a good feeling.
It turns saving from this chore into a source of pride and progress.
It's almost like a game.
Yeah, it is. And the best part is it creates this positive feedback loop that just reinforces healthy financial habits.
Couldn't agree more.
So as we wrap things up,
Yeah.
saving like a pro boils down to a few key things.
Like what?
Intentionality, making small but consistent changes, and most importantly, finding what truly works for you.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And the great thing is there are so many strategies to explore, like the envelope system, the 50-30-20 rule, or the power of automation.
There's something out there for everyone.
Exactly. Now, before we go, I have one final thought for our listeners out there.
Go for it.
Remember, the research really emphasizes how much our emotions influence our financial decisions.
It's true. Our feelings play a huge role.
So I want you to think about this. What emotions do you think drive your spending and saving habits?
That's a good question to ask yourself.
Because once you identify those emotional triggers, you can actually start to harness them to create a more positive and empowering relationship with your finances.
That's a powerful way to frame it.
It's all about taking control and making your money work for you.
Exactly. So take some time to reflect on those emotional drivers. It might just change your financial future.
That's it for this deep dive. Thanks for tuning in.
See you next time.